Hey everyone, and welcome to the Remote Online Notary Network. I am Catherine Cabrera. I am a Texas online notary, and today I have the amazing John Holder. John was the very first online notary in the state of Kentucky. So welcome, John. I'm so happy you're here. Can you tell us about how you began your remote online notary journey, and what year was it, and what did you need to do to become one in the state of Kentucky? Tell us everything.
Thanks, Catherine. I appreciate it. We've had this plan for a long time, and it's good to be on here with you. And I appreciate anybody that's watching this. Thank you for your time, and we'll talk a little shop here this morning. And yes, I claim to be the first remote online notary in Kentucky. I've not had that title stripped of me yet. I think January 2nd of 2020 rolled around, and I'd had remote online notary on my mind for a couple of years. When I picked up my notary signing gig and started doing loan signings and things like that, excuse me, remote online notarization was kind of in the back of my mind because, Virginia already had it going on, and it sounded intriguing to me. It's like, everything else is digital. It makes sense that the notary stuff is going to go digital too. So I just kind of paid attention to it. January 2nd, my Secretary of State said, well, that's good. Yeah, we want you as an online notary, but we don't have the regulations promulgated yet. So you got to hold your horses. They weren't ready for it. So it took until March to get the regulations set forth. And so we know, what rules to play by and all that stuff. But even then, I was on the phone with the Secretary of State and have some really good contacts over there, some really nice people in that office. And they were very helpful with me because I'll be honest, it took me 5 tries to get that digital certificate posted. Everybody, if you know your way around a computer and those type of things, then yeah, that's not an issue. But I know a little bit about computers, enough about WordPress to be dangerous and that type of thing. But what that got me thinking was, if I'm struggling with this, and I kind of had set up a statewide network through my domain at KentuckyNotary.net, the Kentucky Notary Network, we call it. So I wanted my members to kind of get educated with, and so I started taking notes and was just intending to share that with them. But then eventually that gave birth to Ron University. We'll get to that here in a few minutes. But yeah, I claim to be the first remote online notary in Kentucky. We've $10 commission. It's still just Kentucky's the wild, wild west. We have no cap on our fees. Not that there's anything bad or wrong going on here. It's just the way our state's run the notary office for a while now. And so it's $10 for regular commission, $10 for your electronic commission. It's kind of hard to find the information on our website. Even you have different secretaries of states, and they put one thing up for their stuff, and then the other guy comes behind them and wins, and he puts his stuff up. And some of the information we need is in the search bar. You can't even get a good link to it on the page. And I was doing some research for Notary.Online. We'll get to that as well. But I looked at all these Secretary of State offices that have RON, permanent RON laws passed, and boy, it runs the gamut. You can find some states are very helpful. Some states, good luck. Here's your application. You don't even get a phone number. You're lucky to get an email. So it's kind of runs the spectrum. And so that's why I started taking notes and trying to help people out, just try to figure this out and help guide them along the way a little bit.
I felt the same way because it was so tough to figure out how to become an online notary, how to get everything submitted to the state I needed to do, and then to choose a platform to work on. So that's why I started making videos more than a year ago, because there was nothing out there. There was nothing at all. Now there's some pretty good information that other notaries and platforms and even some NNA videos, things like that, that at least tell you how it all works, how you can at least get started. so that you're not wandering around in the dark. We were the blind leading the blind. And that's how John initially reached out to me, as he saw a couple of my videos. And he said, hey, I want to know you. I think we can work on some things together. And I thought, yeah, I want to know you too. You're amazing. And he's not mentioning this, but he's also an attorney. So John figured out how to make his notary commission outperform his, his bar card? Your bar card, John? So, I mean, he's brilliant. It's such a privilege to really be able to get you on the phone directly and ask you questions and things. So, really appreciate you, John.
Thanks, Catherine. We've had a good relationship. And what's helped me with the notary stamp over my bar card is I'm a better person. I'm a better husband. I'm a nicer guy. I mean, I filed a divorce this morning. I did a deed for a football teammate, an old classmate of mine. So I kind of say I'm a 2% attorney, but the divorces, the child custody, foreclosures, there's a lot of negative stuff in that business. You're solving problems for people, which, great attorneys do that, more power to them. But personally, with my personality, my nature, I like to help people. I like to, when everybody's happy. I don't like seeing a divorce client of mine that I went to school with in the grocery line. In a small community, that kind of stuff wears on you. So notary stamp, everybody's happy. You refinanced or you just got your car title signed off on or whatever. And so it just wears on me less. Took me a little while to get here, but I'm glad I'm here. And the legal background does give me a unique perspective, because I've drafted the documents that we handle at loan closings. I've handled those as a preparer and as an attorney. But so it does benefit me, and I try to use that experience, try to pay it forward as much as I can, because we all had to start somewhere. And the notary thing, I did that over 25 years ago. My dad said, "You're going to practice law, you need your notary commission." I was like, "Yes, sir." Okay, I didn't even know. It's like you just did what he told you to do. So, and he's not with us now, but I think if he'd see what I've done with it, he would rip my butt for not taking care of my office like I should have. But I think he'd be equally as proud of what I've pulled off with my little notary stamp. So I'm all right with that.
I know he'd be proud of it. I know it. And, listening to you, I just keep thinking about, I've had my real estate broker's license since 2005. And I have always loved real estate, but the residential real estate is extremely emotional. Like what you're describing with, your legal clients and everything. I had the same feelings in what I was doing there. I just enjoy being a notary so much more. Yeah. And I finally had a little come to Jesus with myself about a year ago. And I said, I can't have one foot in each pond. I am not performing the way I should be. I need to adopt one thing. Plus, I read Bill Soroka's book, Sign and Thrive. And, in the very beginning chapters, he talks about how he was running 5, 6, 7 little businesses. And then he would just go do his notary work to make the cash to keep those businesses afloat. And finally, one of his friends said to him, why don't you just put your head in the game with your notary work and stay there? And he did. And look at him now. So he has just, that has just taken off for him like a rocket. But all right, earlier you mentioned Ron University. And when you first told me about Ron University in 2020, when you first told me about this, I said to myself, that is an enormous undertaking. I hope that this guy, you were this guy back then because I didn't really know you, that this guy could finish what he started, because everything you described to me with all the courses and all the people you were going to interview and have lead classes and everything that Ron University entailed, I thought that could easily take someone 10 years. I said, that may be a project that just never ends. And then you went and did it. And I don't want to tell you I was shocked and surprised, but I was shocked and surprised. And I was completely thrilled when you asked me to do a video with you for your university. So, anybody who enrolls, you're going to see me in there too. But you got the best of the best and interviewed them, and they're in your courses on Ron University. But tell us all about how you got the idea for that, and how many late nights you must have spent putting it together, and what it all entails. I love Ron University.
Thank you, Catherine. I appreciate that. It was kind of a neat thing to put together. Like I said, I have a kind of a geek aspect to me that I like the WordPress part. I like putting websites together. This was a little different animal because, you have to lock part of your site up and make sure that, people who paid have access and that type of thing. So, create an online course, they said. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
And it's probably best that I didn't realize that I was biting off, maybe a little bit more than what I could chew. But the thing of it, I had somebody tell me that I'd have to become an expert in every state. And to be honest, I have not done that. I've just tried to, to explain what needs to explain on a broad level on a national spectrum. And then if somebody needs help with a state specific question, sure, I try to help them. And I helped a lady with, in Texas the other day. Matter of fact, I was kind of proud of myself for that one. But, it's, being an expert, you want to be one chapter ahead. I don't profess to know everything there is about remote online notarization or the technology that goes into the platforms. And
plus it changes every day. Yeah.
I'm learning a lot, especially now with what we're trying to put together. But, the main thing was I wanted to try to help people. And, it's just, Bill is an inspiration to me. I'm a big fan of, I think loan signing system is great. Mark Wills, those guys get a little bit of a reputation for the $100,000 and all that stuff and the marketing they do. But, they're sharp guys and they put together a plan and they put their course together and they did it in phases is what I liked about it. And that's what I tried to do with Ron University was, okay, the first phase is if somebody didn't even know anything about becoming a notary or, just walking off the street, let's educate them, give them a good foundation. We call that the freshman year. Doesn't take a year to get through that module, but it's just a good introduction to remote online notarization, and then what states have it, who the players are, and that type of thing. And then our sophomore year, we built on that because, there's tools to remote online notarization, right? You need to have a good computer, you need good Wi-Fi, you want to have this type of connection, that a portable hard drive. We talk about encrypting a portable hard drive and that type of thing. Now those, that's the sophomore year, those type of topics. The junior year, we went through the platforms and tried to answer that question that everybody has, what's the best platform for independent notary? And we'll talk about the online event we put together to try to answer that too. But that's the junior year. And then the senior year was kind of the advanced topics of marketing and the security part of it, like encrypting that portable hard drive, sending and receiving encrypted email, password security, those type of things where I like to say you can do Ron, but you can do Ron right is the way you should do it. And it's something that you can take lightly when you can say, oh, I'm signed up with this platform and I know my script or whatever, but do you know where you want to put your video session? Do you know how to communicate securely with people? Is your computer secure? You got to take a lot of that stuff very serious if you want to succeed as a remote online notary. So, like I said, I didn't know all that stuff, but the older I get, more success I've had with surrounding myself with smart people, such as yourself and Bill Soroka, and then I call them guest lecturers. People like Christine Pardo down there in Florida. She's one of my favorite remote online notaries.
You told me you witnessed for her on a session.
Yeah, and learn more in 20 minutes than she educated me. So I have her come on Ron U and just talk about her experience and how she got to where she's going. Try to pick the brains of the people who are having success with it and let them know what's going on. Anytime we get some good information, we try to put that information out there. and it's been real well received. I've given one refund, no, courteous refund, quick, no problem, no questions asked. Lady didn't feel like she got what she paid for, and so the other people I've had, either no complaints or and a lot of compliments. And then they asked me what happens at the end. Do you get a certification? I'm like, yeah, I'll send you a diploma, but my whole thing is you're going to get out of it what you put into it. With any course that you take, you can spend the money and you can say, oh, good, I've got that problem solved, or now I know more. But do you really dig in there and do your homework and do your due diligence and, kind of roll your sleeves up and learn what you're supposed to learn? So that's what Ron U is about. It's not like a nationally recognized certification or anything, but it is a comprehensive training for remote online notarization, and I just tried to do the best I could with it. I love that domain. The Ron University was a pretty neat purchase, and it didn't cost a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
I have a fraternity brother who thinks the whole thing's named after him. He wears a t-shirt. His first name's Ron, so he's like, oh, thanks, Holder. You did it. You got a whole university for me. It's been really neat. And
he can be your mascot.
Well received. Yeah. For the most part, it's been well received and a lot of fun to put together.
Well, in an information desert, when there's something professionally done that covers most, if not all, of the bases, and yeah, it's not state specific because it just can't be. But those kind of details, they're always going to be answered by the Secretary of State, whether it's a phone call or checking the website or whatever. So I think most questions are about what fees can online notaries charge legally, because you really need to know before you start to pursue this. Is it going to make sense? And if it doesn't really make sense for like a single document, find out how you can get large packages from title companies and attorneys' offices so that you can make it work for you if you really want to do remote online notarization. So, all right, John. So I know that you are an active online notary as well as mobile notary in Kentucky. Would you like to share your KentuckyNotary.net so that other notaries can see how you use it to increase your business and gain more clients?
Yeah, thank you, Catherine. That was my start. KentuckyNotary.net came from an article Brenda Stone wrote about forming a statewide network. And so that's the .net part. I said, yeah, that's great. I had the domain registered and I thought, all right, we'll just do the .net will stand for network. And it's worked out really well. I've got some really neat people involved from that perspective. And early on, we formed the statewide network. We pretty much got the state covered as far, loosely covered. But what happened was the pandemic hit, the rates dropped, everybody got incredibly busy with jobs that they already had. We didn't have time to market the network properly, and still haven't really taken the time. I've blogged there, I do my social media there, and it's helped me get found on Google. Is what it's helped me because.
Could we see your blog real quick?
Yeah, no problem. I have the best blog name in the business. That's Notarizzle down here at the very bottom.
It's the shizzle.
That's right. I couldn't name my and look, I haven't posted since February. This is bad, but this helps, guys. If you want to get found for remote online notarization, I'll just show you right there. There's my page. Okay, I'm talking about remote online notarization. There's an article that stays up on the site. And then as part of my blog, go back here to Notarizzle. This was a good one. It helps if you're a dog person. I had fun writing that one because of the mobile notary. Here, check out my picture here.
Hey, my husband works for a pool company doing pool renovations. And a couple of weeks ago, we had to go get in someone's pool to go change an apparatus on the bottom of the pool. Well, he said he makes friends with all the dogs of all the folks that he goes and sees. And this dog my husband was just all over him. And every time my husband would go in the pool, the dog would try to save him. He was convinced he was drowning. So he said he had this huge dog like diving in after him and trying to grab his shirt and pull him up. And he's like, stop, I've got to change this thing on the train. So yeah, it really helps if you're going to people's homes to be a dog person.
Here's an example of northeastern Kentucky. Pheasants, glowing eels, ocelot, I think it was called, or something. I don't even know. They were doing research on them. Macaws, parrots, of course.
So these are all pets from people's homes that you've been to.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cat. Oh my God. The hairless cat. I was like, oh, well, the little girl was.
She looks chilly.
Yeah, she had allergies, and they told her she could have a cat if they found one that didn't have allergies. And the little girl found out that hairless cats, she was hypoallergenic. So it's a neat story there. But yeah, we have dogs everywhere. But let me get back. I was going to show you. Let's see, right there. Okay, September of 2020. What is remote online notarization, and how does it work? That's what people need to know. They don't even know that it's out there. So you've got to educate your public that it's legal, it's legit, it's secure, it's convenient, so all that stuff. There's another article on appointments, and then I think I had another blog post about it being legal. Yeah, online, remote online notarization is legal in Kentucky. So that was January 5th, 2020, right? A couple of days after it came out. So that's what I've tried to do there with KentuckyNotary.net, and it's got me found on Google. It's got the 1-800 number there. I thought I had to have, and I still love it. And it rings. It does ring. 833-notary. So I've just tried to do little things like that to improve your marketing. And where I live, small town, right? So what we do with our sports teams and little league teams and all that, we kind of make the big time where we are. That's right. What we say is, and that's what I tried to do with my website. Is it's not Vanceburg Notary, it's Kentucky Notary. So, and then Bill Soroka told me that once we do the remote online notary stuff, that I can market to the whole world now. So we need a bigger website, and that's coming too. But yeah, KentuckyNotary.net. That was my start. Always have a place in my heart for that website and my people. We've got I think we've almost got about 300 people in our Kentucky Notary Facebook group now. So I'm in some of the big national groups, but I really like our little Kentucky group because everybody.
Well, it's awesome. You can refer jobs to each other, because how many times do I get something from a county that's really far away, and I don't know, somebody from New York booked it from New York City. I'm like, look at that, it's right by you. Yeah, that's a 4-hour drive.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, we have a roll call, like an announcement post, and anytime anybody signs up, that's what I tell them. I'm like, okay, list your counties in this post here, and it's worked really well.
Brilliant.
I refer all 2 or 3 a week usually. That's pretty neat.
Yeah. Well, all right. So thank you so much for sharing your website with us. Now, you had a fabulous summit a couple of weeks back, and it was Online 21, and I got to attend it twice. Of course, it was when my nanny's grandmother passed, unfortunately, and I could not attend as many as I wanted to because he needs a lot of attention. He's 5 months old now. So I was really, really, really pleased with what I saw, though. And I was really just riveted by Mr. Triola with Notary Cam.
No.
What an interesting interview that was. I really enjoyed it. So tell us all about how Online 21 came to be and all the sessions that you shared with all the notaries.
Thank you.
And everybody else.
I appreciate that. And it was a really neat event. I think, again, I keep beating a dead horse here, but it was well received also. And Online 21 came about because of people like you. I went to my friends first, right? You were one of my first contacts. I reached out with you and one notary, and you guys were on board. Guy Pearson, Live Notary, was on board. So I circled 3 or 4 of people that I knew would demonstrate their platform, and thought this was a good idea, and then just kind of expanded it from there, because like we said, our junior year in Ron University is which platforms should we use? And I say plural. I don't say platform. I mean, yeah, you may get locked into one that you like, but as an independent notary, remote online notary, you kind of want to have a couple of different tricks up your sleeve, a couple of cards up your sleeve. Maybe one platform will suit you better than the other. Maybe the pricing's better. Maybe you can get through the KBA on one and
maybe
not
you can put 10 signers on one. Maybe you can only put 5 signers on another. I had that phone call this morning from Celicia Young Jones out of Florida. Right. Can I put 6 signers on? Oh, sorry, no. But I tell you what, doing the One Notary demo for your crowd, that was the most fun I've ever had, doing a demo of the platform for onenotary.us.
It was really neat. We had a good solid core of people who stayed with us all week. I mean, we had like 300 people starting out and live, and which is amazing. I mean, over 2,300 people registered.
I tried not to look because I didn't want to get too nervous, but I think when I looked one time, it said like 118, and it was like before we even really got started, I was like, all right, let me put that out of my head. Exactly. These people are staring at me, and but it was pretty heavily attended. I was really impressed with what you were able to put together.
It was neat, and the breakout rooms, you kind of, you run across all kinds of different people in those things, and like I say, it brought a lot of people together over the course of that subject, and a lot of those companies, very thankful for all my presenters and the companies and the people who spoke. I just wanted to round out those platform demonstrations with some different topics to, like Takisha Smith Robinson talking about the tools of Ron, and Deshauna and Ashley and those ladies helped me out tremendously. And so we had a kind of a varied spectrum of topics. It wasn't just all platform, because I think that would have got a little redundant after a while. It kind of broke
there's only so many of those you can watch. So please tell us all about Rick Triola with Notary Camp. That was a really interesting interview.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite sessions because, like I said, I tracked him down on LinkedIn, and I had trouble reaching out, getting somebody from their company to actually contact me about the demo. Here's the CEO president saying he wants his company to participate. And I'm like, yeah, but I still don't have anybody to connect with here. So he made sure that I had somebody, Matthew Bateman, and the guy was really great to work with. But Mr. Triola showed up himself at the presentation, and I was like, this is great. I mean, and he riffed on the Secure Act. He riffed on, why these different states haven't had remote online notary accepted yet. And it was fascinating to me. He talked a lot of it was talking about how they got started with remote online notarization and how they had to put all the pieces together.
My favorite part was when he said if he had known it would take 20 years, he was not sure he would have stayed with it and done it originally.
But he says, we're crazy entrepreneurs. Mr. Triola, he was great. It was just really neat to have someone of his stature participate in our event. And his words were, just hit home in every aspect. He was talking about remote online notarization and how it just made sense, right? It's like, why wouldn't you want to do it this way? And it just, his points hit home on so many different levels that it was just a really neat to have his company involved. And, Notarize was there. We didn't get to record their session, but still we had a couple of the big guns there with Notarize and Notary Camp, and some of the other big ones, old secured signing and eNotary log. And there, I think 9 different platforms in total is what we ended up with. And that was pretty neat to me. 10 if you count ours. Notary.Online's coming. So, but that was, tried to answer that $64,000 question of which run platforms should I use. So, host an online event, they said. Great idea. Here I go again. Probably biting off a little more than I can chew,
but you ran it for 5 days. I don't think you slept for any of the nights in between.
We did it for free. That's what was cool. It was free to attend and free to register. because I've seen a couple of them since, and people put a price on their stuff, and that's fine. But it was important to me to have a diverse panel, have a
Yeah.
wide spectrum of topics, and then get it out to people for free. That was all good. Now I made a little money off the all access pass. Is how I covered my costs, and
I believe you can still get the all access pass now. So if you didn't attend the summit, you can look back and see everything that went on and all the interviews and everything, right?
Yes, you can. I had to shut my cart down, but if you just email me, I can get you access to the sessions. Yeah, they're still available. And then what I'll do is at the beginning of the year, I'm going to put those in Ron University, is where they'll end up eventually. So I'll have a little bit more extra content in there.
Yeah, it's a great value add.
Yeah, so it went real well. I tell you what, the Zoom production assistant was the best hire that I made. I mean, I just spoke at Laura Biewer's event this past weekend, and Robbie Samuels did hers. And those guys are just golden. They're worth every penny. They cost a pretty penny. I won't tell you they don't. But putting a Zoom event together, I was about a week out, and I still didn't have anybody. And I made a couple of phone calls and just lucked into this guy from Pennsylvania. And if you ever need a Zoom assistant, I've got your man, Corey, in Pennsylvania. I'll hook you up. And
no, that's great, because they can handle all of that while you're actually talking with your attendees and everything, because you can't do 6 things at one time. It'll all get messed up.
I was the train conductor. I tried to keep the schedule running and keep it on time and keep everybody rolling. And for the most part, we did that. And we just had a couple of little hiccups. But other than that, everything went fairly smoothly, and everybody was really patient with us. And it's still getting some traffic on there. We put that at Notary.Events, and that's going to be part of Notary.Online. We're going to do some quarterly events every year, and probably just do it the same way: free to attend, free to register. Get an all access pass behind that, and then for early adopters, they won't have to worry about that stuff. They'll get all that stuff.
All right, perfect. All right. Well, I know that you are also working on your next huge thing. And knowing you are going to make it the biggest and the best, and you're actually going to complete the project, because that's how John rolls. So tell us all about Notary.Online.
Thank you, Catherine. My phone rang at 11:30 on a Sunday night. We all claim we're 24/7, right? If you're a mobile notary or remote online notary, yeah, we'll get you taken care of. So I groaned, because my 1-800 number has a special ringtone, so I know that it's coming from that number. And what now? Well, it was Dan Hubbard was on the other line, and he's a fellow notary, or a fellow attorney from Virginia, and we just started talking. He liked that I had registered the domain Notary.Online, and we got to talking, and he made a couple offers, and there's my 1-800 number right there. I have to go to voicemail. Told you it rings. But,
this thing has been buzzing off the hook since we started. I totally understand.
So Dan, we saw some things. We wanted to put together a notary marketplace. He's done this concept with a couple of different industries, and kind of had his eye on the notary industry, and ran across Kentucky Notary, called my 1-800 number, and we put a really neat product together out of this phone call. Is amazing. The concept that we've spawned, and what we're trying to do. Our tagline is bringing transparency, fairness, and equity to notarization. You can charge your customer. We give you the power to charge your customer whatever you want. We give you the power to keep as much as you can. So we think that equation ought to be like customer $25, us $20, and expenses $5, something along those lines. Your profit ought to be 20 and not 5. And you ought to be able to build a relationship with that customer. You ought to be able to, if you give them good service, they'll want to come back to you. So why not They save your link from Notary.Online. And that's what we've tried to do is establish a notary marketplace, Catherine. Notaries on one side, people who need notaries on the other side. It's as simple as that. It's kind of your profile on steroids, is like what I like to call it. Our profile page is very robust, and we're adding features daily. And as early adopters request them, we're trying to adapt, excuse me, and build that up to be, as nice or as feature rich as you want. We can do it, and we're not charging anything extra for it. So Notary.Online, we're, you set the fee, you keep your fee less expensive. That's our whole thing. It's an early adopters is what we're seeking. $250 a year for 3 years, $750 total commitment. We're throwing in some really neat bonuses, and a couple of these I'm just revealing right now. People may or may not have heard that you can get a scholarship to Ron University as an early adopter for Notary.Online. All right, so come sign up as an early adopter at Notary.Online, and I'll comp you at remote Online Notary University there, Ron U. We'll get you taken care of there. I can get you access to the all access pass. I can let you have see what our sessions from online were. So we're trying to sweeten the pot a little bit, and we've also thrown in our Ron platform for life. So if you're an early adopter, you pay $250 a year for 3 years. Once we get our Ron platform developed, it will not cost you anything. There won't be any unlimited transactions, anything like that. No extra fees. So, it's a really sweet deal. We're a new company. We're going to do it for the notary. We're in it for the right reasons. We have an excellent business model. The early adopters have seen it. They believe it. We're spreading the word, getting some real good help with the marketing aspect of this. This is part of it. But this is the kind of path that I've been on, right? Excuse me. It started with KentuckyNotary.net. It led to Ron University. Ron University led to Notary Events and Ronline 21. And then with Dan Hubbard, we've tried to put together what we think is basically what every notary needs to run your business through a portal. We've got calendar integration, run your Calendly through it. We've got Stripe integration.
That's good. I have always told all online notaries to have a calendar booking option on the website, and integrating Calendly or Square or one of those so that people can choose the day and time. That makes your conversion rate just shoot up. It's great that yours will do that.
It's built in. And yeah, that's one of the neat things. And then we're going to add the Ron platform on top of it. So right now, the marketplace is up and functioning. It'll work for anybody that needs, you can run your mobile notary business through there. You can bring your platform to our Notary.Online. You can use your profile to advertise whatever, Ron connection you have. But we think once we put ours together, it's going to be a no-brainer that, we'll have the features you need and the price you want. Nobody will be able to touch it. So that's what we're putting together over there. And anybody interested, Notary.Online, the .online, that's kind of like our .com or whatever, john.holder@notary.online. Another email address, but I'm trying to keep everything situated. I think we've got a really powerful concept. Well, we know we've got a really powerful concept, and we can't wait to add the Ron platform on top of it. And once that we do that, we've got another really strategic partnership that is really close to signing up a contract where it'll help us populate that people who need notaries. On the other side of the marketplace, we'll have people who need legal documents signed and could get even legal advice if they need it. They could get counsel if they need it. Only going to be a
That's
button.
huge.
So this is, this thing, once we put all the pieces together, this is just going to be sliced bread. I think it's just the greatest thing that a notary could want. And even I've had the question asked: is it for new notaries? Do I need to be a veteran notary? Yes. We can accommodate you. We're going to have free training on there. You're going to have free, remote online notary training. We're going to do a lot of different things. The notary events, we're going to be putting on quarterly events. So it's sorry about my dog.
It's all right.
But it's going to be the place to be as a notary. We feel like going forward, 2022 is just going to be our year. We've got to have early adopters so we can get a ROM platform developed. We've already got the specs. First part of it's already been built out. We just need to take the next step, place our next order, and it should be ready by the end of the year. So it's crazy. I like to say that it's exciting, but it's frightening at the same time. It's scary as crap too. But it's a neat scare. That's the thing with Kentucky Notary.net, I was scared then. I was scared with Ron U. Yep. I was freaking out with Online 21. That's, to me, walking that tightrope is what it's about.
I was just thinking baby steps, but once you get a few of those steps going, then you start running. And you're just running. You're just doing a great job with all of this. And it's really serving the notaries. And that's the thing. I think Bill Soroka talked about that too. When you can give, the more you can give and help and share, the more it comes back to you. And I see that in him and in you a lot.
Appreciate that. That's what it is. I mean, we're trying, our heart's in the right place. And again, I go back to surrounding myself with smart people. Dan's a gifted coder. He's tech and I'm notary, and it's a real good delineation there of who does what, and we bounce off each other real well, and it's just neat. We're going to flip that equation around where you set your fee, you take control of your business. We don't hit you up for the Stripe fees. I mean, the Stripe integration is in there, but you keep your fee, you less your expenses. We've got with Stripe integration, you can run that through your QuickBooks, your TurboTax, you can export all that stuff to where it'll flow through there. So there's just so many neat things. The video chat, I like to call it's kind of a subscription killer, because you can retire a few of these CRM programs, and maybe you need Zoom, maybe you don't. Once you get on our platform and see how powerful it is, you can submit an invoice, you can contract from there. Everything's right there, everything that you need. And if you can't, if it's something there that you need and it's not there, let us know. That's what the beta testing and early adopters are all about. So if it's not there, we'll build it out. So I'm just super excited about it and appreciate the opportunity to share what we have going on. I'm just really looking forward to getting it built up.
I think we've covered everything we set out to cover today. I know I'm going to have you back in the future to tell us more about how everything is going with all of your ventures. Thank you so much for everything that you share with notaries and online notaries. It really makes a difference in helping others get educated and also to gain confidence and take the baby steps and the leaps like what you take. I truly, you're an inspiration. And you also just have a really positive vibe and a can-do attitude. And, people's attitudes are infectious. I feel better after I've spent time with you on Clubhouse, whether it's on Clubhouse or here in the interview, even just, Facebook Messenger exchanges when we're chatting about something. So thanks for being you. Good luck with everything in Kentucky. And you got any final thoughts you'd like to share with the audience today?
No, just anybody that wants to, get onboarded. If you go to Notary.Online, there's a form at the end that you can kind of fill out. Like that's subscribing to our newsletter, right? Or we'll keep you in the loop there. But there's also a place to sign up as an early adopter. If you'd like to kind of step through that and see what we have, share the screen. I can show you before you sign up. Just send me an email, john.holder@notary.online. And be glad to have y'all on there. We're looking for a few thousand awesome notaries. That's what I say. And you're one of them. You always will be. I appreciate the kind words, Catherine. That,
I mean them.
my slogan is be glad to help. I say it about 100 times a day. I get about 30 or 40 phone calls a day or
Yep.
text or messages where I try to do that. And I think if you just pay it forward, that people kind of sense that, and they'll know your heart's in the right place. We're doing this for notaries. Thank you, Catherine. Appreciate that.
Fantastic. All right. Well, thanks for joining us today, Remote Online Notary Network. Thanks for subscribing to our YouTube channel. We'll see you on the Remote Online Notary Network Facebook group as well. And see you next time.
You got it done, Catherine.
Yeah, we got it done. All right, let me stop the recording so it will save. Lost my cursor. Where you at?
There we go.
Samuels, that guy.